So what do you reckon then, mate, when they come?
Who's that?
The aliens.
I reckon we're cattle, like I just said. And they're gonna just like, it's in the future. The governments know about it. We've just been allowed to multiply on this earth till we get to a certain point where it's actually beneficial for them to just come down and harvest us now.
Just take us.
They're just going to come down and take us away, and we'll be like cattle in a slaughterhouse, hung up by our feet, moving through conveyor belts, millions of humans just going along.
Just getting nailed.
All the way down till there's nothing left. They use every last part of us.
Do you reckon they fuck us first?
Do I reckon there's something sexual involved in it? I don't know, mate. Why is it always like that with you?
Ready?
Yes, go.
Welcome to Dream Jaguars UFO video. So Juzzy and I thought we would do a slightly different video today. We have been very interested in following closely this whole UFO situation. Try and tie it into the psychedelics if we can, but we are just like, it's worthy of discussion, this, because unless you have not been watching the news, and all you guys in America would probably see that this is obviously being talked about daily on your major news channels, and is now making it over to the UK on UK News, Talk Radio have talked about it yesterday. You've got this Master at Arms, retired from the American Navy, Sean Carroll, I think his name is. Sean Carroll. Anyway, he was present at one of these big UFO situations that occurred late 2010, between 2010 and 2017, I think, on one of the aircraft carriers. Various pilots and so on and so forth have come forward talking about the incidents with these Tic Tac UFOs that have now been confirmed by the Pentagon. Pentagon have come out and said that this footage that has been leaked is real. These objects are real. They are unidentified. They've been recorded on multi-sensor data targeting equipment, military targeting equipment, planes, fighter planes, radars, aircraft carriers, bombers, reconnaissance airplanes, so on and so forth. And this, you know, they're reporting these things almost daily, according to this pilot. There was on 60 Minutes, which was on last week, I think. You can watch it on YouTube. So the USS Nimitz is the kind of the biggest, you know, story so far. And then there are now seems to be kind of loads of this stuff coming out, and also in the US COVID bill, there was a very small paragraph in there saying that the intelligence agencies have to disclose all information, unclassified information, to Congress in 180 days. That 180 days is up at the beginning of June. So the press have got hold of this via an article that was in the New York Times in 2019, where they had this military footage of these UFOs, and obviously it's undisputable. So these things are there. What are they? And are we in for a big shock very, very soon? Maybe we are. Let's talk about it. Go.
Alright, so what are they? So it has been proposed that they're not Russian, they're not Chinese, in which case they're not made terrestrially on this planet. So in which case, that only leaves a couple of other options, doesn't it? Interdimensional travellers, human beings from the future come back in time, or aliens. And the jury's out at the moment. We're hopefully going to get some more information in June, but I'm proposing that will just be a load more pictures just to confuse and confound everyone anyway, even more, with no real answers. So if the government do know anything, they're definitely not just going to go, oh yes, and by the way, here it all is now. That ain't going to happen. We're just going to get some more enticing photos come out and a little bit more information just to lead us down this path even further. Aside from that, there's definitely something going on.
So, the UFOs, mate. The UFOs, so for
What's that there?
for decades now, I've been into UFOs for all my life, right? And it's always been like, I would love it if that was true. I would love it. I would love it.
But have you always been a believer?
Never really. No, I've never I've never not thought that there isn't life out in the universe. The universe is just so unfathomably big. The planet ain't special. We're not in a special part of our galaxy. Our galaxy's not special. It's just vast.
One of billions.
You know, hundreds of billions of stars in our galaxy alone, and then hundreds of billions of galaxies. Is just immense beyond all fucking comprehension of the word, right?
Yeah.
So aliens, I've always thought, yeah, there's bound to be out there. They're out there. Are they visiting Earth? And then you kind of the old thought process of how would they get here? It's just too far. Relativity says that travelling at light speed will take, thousands of years to even get to, the nearest star, and then by the time you're travelling,
the galaxy's like 100,000, or is it 200,000 light years across? That's just our galaxy.
Yeah,
that's 200,000 years travelling at the speed of light.
Travelling at the speed of light,
which makes it impossible, really. If you apply the relativity.
Yes, this is it, isn't it?
If you apply our understanding of physics, it makes it impossible for any other sign of life to have got here. And also, there's that other, not the Planck, not the one about the theory of how many civilizations are out there, but there's that other theory that says surely we would have seen or detected. Fermi Paradox. We would have detected something by now.
Yeah. So.
But I don't believe that.
No, but it's massive. It's massive.
Yeah.
But you think so opinions change, don't they? So back in the 10, 15 years ago, you're watching scientists debate, astrologers debate this, whether or not there's aliens and how would they get here. Well, 100 years ago, if you'd have said we're going to have these little devices that you can speak to someone around the world instantaneously, you can watch videos that are sent from one side of the planet to the other instantly, blah blah blah, you'd have been laughed out of the room, right?
And they would have thought that was impossible. But 100 years ago, they actually believed that. Like Jules Verne and people like that, they were writing about little green men, the fucking Martians.
Yeah. So opinions change, right? And then you've got, alongside that, you've got this kind of the Roswell government conspiracy. Have they got aliens? Did they recover a crashed alien spacecraft and all that jazz, right?
Did they find something?
And now, in 2021, we have confirmed videos and sensor data from the US, probably other military institutions around the world, saying yes, they have seen unidentified objects in the skies almost daily for however, and these sightings are going up and up and up in their numbers, They don't know what they are, and they demonstrate technology that is way 100 to 1,000 years, I think, is the most conservative estimate, in more advanced than we are, right? Or than our best equipment. Yeah. So where does that leave us, mate? Philosophically, how does that make you feel? And bearing in mind this report is just around the corner, like you say, probably not going to get that much information about it, but it's going to be considerably more than what we've got, hopefully. Was on CBS News, this reporter was saying that he's spoken to people on the inside who are kind of putting this information out there. There is a video of one of these craft 50 metres from the cockpit of the plane, and the pilot's going absolutely mental because he thinks he's going to crash into it, right? If that comes out, philosophically,
what do you mean if it comes out? People already have. So
what I'm saying is, where does that put us? Like, where does that put us mentally? Is that the next step in the COVID?
Well, this
changing of.
Listen, before the millennium, there was talk about UFOs, and we had X-Files in the 90s, and all this information was becoming like entertainment is bringing the information forward.
Yeah.
So the idea was you wait till the world is at a point where it can understand this information is going to be given. We've been out of religion for quite a long time. Now it's getting further and further apart. More people believe in science than they do mythology, and religions and things like that. So we're kind of at that point, and I seem to remember back in the 90s, it was the talk was that they were going to release bits and bits and bits and bits and bits, so that eventually it's broken into a place where you're not just dumped. There's aliens out there. It's fed through bit by bit, and for the last 30 years, it's been fed through bit by bit. So now we're at this place where, within 5 years, it is going to be fully identified, right?
Well, there's something that's not us, yeah.
There's something that's not us.
Not. It's categorically must be an extraterrestrial. There is something that is way more advanced than us, moving around in our skies and in the water.
Yeah, but if you take all the UFO conspiracy stuff into consideration, you've got Roswell meeting this fucking alien come down. They had this interplanetary conflab, where, you know what I mean, and the government have been involved with aliens for a long time. So if you take it as this is the plan, then the plan is running as smoothly as pie, isn't it? It's basically going. We're at that point where they're now saying, well, there's definitely stuff there, whereas before it was denied as some sort of phenomena or cloud or weather balloon or aeroplanes or whatever it is. Now they're not saying any of that shit anymore, are they? They're saying it's definitely something, and that thing is something that we can't. It doesn't seem as though it's terrestrial.
Yeah,
that's what they're saying. So the next step is, well, we all know there's these craft flying around. How soon is it before they go, well, actually, there's aliens. There are aliens.
Yeah.
We've had aliens.
Yeah.
We've had them, we've spoken to them.
Yeah.
We first found them at Roswell.
Yeah.
Or whatever, whenever the Germans had them.
They're observing us, they don't want any grief, they just want to abduct a few kids here and there. Do some shit to them.
And like Skinwalker Ranch, go and like attack cattle and stuff.
So
I don't believe that.
So then obviously trying to tie it back to alien intelligence contact with these creatures.
That's different.
I mean, are they just probes? Are they super advanced rovers? These things that are
it wouldn't matter, because basically I suppose that's the key thing, isn't it? The confirmation that this isn't terrestrial clearly means that it's something else, and in that alone, it's like Sam Harris was saying. You were telling me about. I didn't want to see into that documentary. But that whole thought, like we're actually sat here and the government are saying there's shit flying around and it ain't. It's nothing to do with humans.
Or nothing to do with humans. Yeah.
It's not human made, or if it is, it's so far advanced it can't. You know what I mean?
Which yeah, exactly.
So that just in itself is, you might as well take that as contact. That's contact.
It's contact.
But we're kind of not, and
But
the whole world is just sat there going, the government are just saying.
But these things never they never come about the way that you think they're going to come. The way that the masses would think they're going to come about is, these massive motherships just rolling up. I mean, that may happen.
Independence Day.
Yeah, but it's like these things just come around in a different way. But it's I watched that, as I said to you yesterday, watching that YouTube channel with the physicist lady. Really, it's for kids, but at the same time, she was saying, are these craft interdimensional? So the analysis she gave was obviously if you had a tank of water and the tank of water was our 3D
reality.
Our 3D reality. If something was outside of our reality in a different dimension, maybe these craft are just like where they just dip their finger in the water, and you can move your finger around the water as quickly as you want, and then all of a sudden you just pull your finger out. So maybe we're being observed by these craft from a different level of reality, and it's like a projection of a point of contact between our dimension and that dimension. And yet we're being observed. But also, as well.
Maybe they can't come through, but they can send probes through, and that's what those probes are.
But also, like when we think about, our spectrum. We're so arrogant, aren't we? That you think, well, if you can't touch, see, smell, hear, taste it, then it ain't there, yeah. But we know that the spectrum of light that we view reality is tiny in comparison to what's actually there. So maybe these things are just all around, mate. Maybe they're just everywhere. Right here now, sitting next to me,
Bob the alien.
Bob the alien.
Paul, isn't it? Paul.
So it's interesting, isn't it, though?
Well, I think the interesting point from my perspective is the fact that if you'd have gone 30 years ago, if I'd have gone, there's definitely some sort of craft and we don't know where it's from, it's definitely not made by humans, it would have caused much more of a shock, and everyone would have wanted to know a little bit more, or a lot more about what's going on. What are the government going to do with it? What are we going to do about it?
How will they look after us? But, I mean,
and the most shocking thing right now is in like 20 days' time, there's photographic, videographic evidence, satellite imagery, all proving that there's something there, right? And now we have government officials saying that they don't believe it's made by any foreign nationals.
Yeah.
So, and the fact that has just slipped into our reality now.
Yeah.
And there isn't like, I mean, the news.
Mate, it's awesome.
It's on the news a lot, but what proportion of the world are actually looking at? Because you'd have thought it would be a lot more people would be like, well, what? Mm. Or is it the fact that they're just
so wrapped up in their own shit?
We're all still wrapped up in whatever is going on in life. We're not even looking at it, and it has literally just been slipped in there. So what's the next thing to be slipped in?
I don't know.
They've been coming here for years. In fact, all the Sumerian texts were true, and they basically
made us.
They made us, and we've known this, and we've actually been talking with them for the last 100 years.
They ain't talking with them, mate. They ain't talking with them. I mean, it's like that. I don't think it's like that. There's no open dialogue between us and them. It's just the fact that they are there, and our governments have known that they are there, but they just haven't. If you look at society from the perspective of the kind of parent-child, which most people do, 95% of people do. You can see everyone walking around COVID style with, masks still on and thinking that there's virus all over the place, yeah, and it's just rubbish. But if you look at that,
Got a bit of COVID right there. Look.
if you look at that, right, from that kind of parent-child mentality, but then all of a sudden, the child can't be protected by the parent because there's a monster out there, yeah, be it a monster or not. Do you know what I mean? I'm just using the analogy.
Yeah.
As far as the children are concerned, that is a monster, right? And there's nothing that the parent can do to protect us, because if this thing goes sour, then that's it. We're finished, yeah. So they're going to keep that secret for as long as is humanly possible. But maybe, like you say, maybe they have this, whatever this is, it has been watching us and observing us, and maybe we've got to a point now where it's kind of recognised by them that we're on the brink of either fucking destroying ourselves or elevating to the next level, yeah, and now it's time
To join the League of
I don't know.
Galaxies.
Or maybe not, maybe it ain't, maybe it's a lot colder than that.
No, I like to believe, in my mind, that it is a lot colder than that, and they literally give two Fs about us. They don't care, and they're just observing everything that goes on, and they're just.
But you sure, like you say, right? So going back to the Fermi Paradox, yeah. There's two bits of research I've done on that. One is obviously that the universe, our galaxy, is enormous, and how would you even be able to know whether or not, from our technological standpoint, how many civilizations are out there, and how would you see them, and so on. So we've very barely, according to the official narrative, we've only just got off the planet. Yeah, we've just shot out to the moon. We've just sent a couple of things to Mars. We've got something out in deep space, some probe, but that's still only a fucking millimetre away from where we are, and our known galaxy is on the other side of the planet. Yeah. So, or actually, there is a lot of life out there, but it's quite rare. Yeah, it's like, say, 1% of every 100 light years.
Yeah.
1% of that has got life in it. So right. If you are of a technologically advanced civilization where you do find a garden planet where the inhabitants are intelligent, they have been able to manipulate their environment, and they are able to now be on the precipice of becoming spacefaring. Maybe it's nurtured. Maybe we are nurtured, and we're either put here by them to get to this point, or life accidentally formed and they found us, and it's like we're like a little baby chick that's fallen out of its nest, and we're in the incubator, and we're in an animal welfare sanctuary, yeah, and they're looking after us and they're making sure that. Do you know what I'm saying?
What? Because we're intelligent life.
Yeah, I mean, even though we are savages, we're still on the precipice. We could go good. We could be good. We could get that ape mentality out of us, and we could make it. But as equally as possible is we could fucking die. We'd all just burn, yeah, blow ourselves up, nuclear war, you name it, right?
Yeah, I think genetically humans are just set up to be selfish.
So that's that, right? That's one part of the Fermi Paradox. The other very interesting part, which I read about, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Jason Silver. Yeah, Shots of Awe. Was talking about perhaps civilizations get to a certain point when they realise that actually the physical universe is a dangerous place.
That's
yeah?
old. That's the old one, isn't it?
It's dangerous.
It's been around for a long time.
You've got to travel across,
vast quantities of space.
Yeah.
With all kinds of debris smashing all over the place.
Stars burn out.
Planets.
Solar wind. Whatever.
Stars burn out. Planets get destroyed.
So maybe you get to a certain level of technological advancement, and then you just go inward. You find a way to go into the civilization. You find a way. You discover DMT, and you realise that actually that universe is within. Yeah, there is a dimension folded in, and you develop the DMT technology with the simulation technology, and then somehow through some means the whole shit's merged and that civilization whoop, finds its way into inner space. Yeah,
wherever that is.
Wherever that is, beyond our conception. Maybe because so many people are smoking DMT, doing ayahuasca, this movement of psychedelic renaissance, the aliens are like, hang on,
What the fuck's going on?
send a probe back into the physical.
They're flitting.
They're getting there, these boys.
They're flitting in and out.
Should we wrap it?
Yeah.
So it's interesting, guys. It's interesting. We'd like to know your thoughts on it. And if you haven't seen it, you've been living in a box, especially that you guys in America, because it seems to be CBS, Fox News, all your major news channels are talking about it, daily. This report is coming. It's coming very soon. It's going to be very interesting. What are your thoughts on the UFO phenomena? What are your thoughts on alien intelligence? Can you tie it into the psychedelic renaissance better than we can? We're just two old boys having a ramble on a bench in the...
A ramble.
Yeah.
Ramble and a ramble.
That's it. Okay. Want to do the outro, John?
Yes, guys. If you like what you see, hit the button, like and subscribe. Move on over to our Patreon, where you can get some extra videos and stuff that we're sorting out. And
Dreaming Jaguars patreon.com/Dreaming Jaguars. Website
is
www.dreamingjaguars.com
for merchandise,
merch, t-shirts,
all this stuff helps us out, or will do eventually when we start selling and getting more patrons. Oh yeah, thanks for those patrons. Must say thank you, and thank you for all your comments on the last video. Yeah, that was good.
We're going to be doing some more documentary stuff soon. We've got some other guests teed up. We're going to be doing some really nice creative stuff.
That's if we still got a world to live in when the aliens come.
If the place hasn't burnt to a cinder and we're all...
Oh yeah, just on a happy note, there's apparently a massive asteroid heading for us in 2021. So perhaps it's all about that.
Apophis.
Apophis is coming.